several other drive-bys at night on 3 different neighborhoods, all enemies to my own neighborhood, because I was not satisfied with just getting that one neighborhood.
Gang! Welcome to the mind of a maniac. YouTube, what's that word, man? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, man. I go by Don. If it's your first time tapping in with the kid, man, make sure you tap in with the kid for sure, bro. So we back on the second reaction channel, man. Didn't upload yesterday. Oh yes, I did, didn't I, folks? Yeah, man, for sure, man. We just be working, bro. We just grinding, bro. You know what I'm saying? Staying on our pivot, man. Enjoying this hustle, enjoying this grind. You feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna go Lamborghini shopping probably this weekend. You know what I'm saying? Might go ahead and get that Urus. I don't know. What y'all think? Get in the chat. Should I get the Urus, the Evo, the Aventador, the SVJ, or should I just stick with what I got? Let me know in the chat. You feel me? Like straight up and down, folks. Anyway though, bro. So we back on the second channel, right? And today we in Cali as usual. Shout out Cali. Shout out Cali, you dig? But we talking about Monster Cody's baby brother, man. I think they called him Lil Monster, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I did my research on Monster Cody, and he was one of them ones, man. 8 trade gangster for sure. And he was one of them ones from over there, man. And I heard, I don't know how true this is, but they tell me, you know what I'm saying? They tell me that Monster Cody even put fear in the infamous Big U. Do your homework on Monster Cody putting fear in Big U. You feel me? They say Big U wanted Monster Cody deleted, bro. You did what I'm saying? But anyway, we talking about his little brother, man. Because they say when Monster Cody actually got shot by the Rolling 60s, bro, his brother went on a rampage. You know what I'm saying? They say his brother went crazy. So we're going to tap into that right now, man. Y'all make sure y'all like, hype, sub up. You know what to do, folks. Let rock and roll, bro.
Reality, gang activity. So I want him to be a part of reality, but I didn't want him to lose that specialness that made him himself, which was just my little brother. But to everybody else, he was a little monster, but he was always my little brother, you know?
Welcome back to another episode of Warren Cali. Kershawn Scott was born in Los Angeles in 1965. He was the 5th of 6 kids. His dad, Ernest, and his mom, Bertie, originally were from Texas, but they later settled in Los Angeles. Initially, the family was thriving, living in a nicer area of LA, but that family unity wouldn't last long. Kershaw's older brother, Cody, who was 2 years older, existence drove a wedge in his parents' relationship. Cody was a product of an affair their mother had, which caused a rift in the union. Ernest...
Dang. Do your homework on a kid being evidence that you let somebody else get that box. You know what I'm saying? I already know Monster Cody, stepdad, and Lil Monster Dad, he couldn't get over that, gang. Get in the chat. How can you get over that? You feel me? Cheating is one thing, but knowing you cheated is a whole nother thing. Oh! You know what I'm saying? And you carrying something for 9 whole months, and then the beauty of it being born, and then to only realize that he's not mine. Whew. I can see how it may have caused a drift in the Monster household. For sure.
Physically and emotionally abused Cody, which included beating him and showing deliberate favoritism towards his biological children over Cody, which included taking other kids out to dinners, movies, and trips to his hometown of Houston, and initially leaving Cody behind most of the time. In 1970, Ernest and Bertie divorced.
Now that messed up because the baby ain't did nothing. The child ain't did nothing. You should have just left her, gang. You should have just left her if you were going to act like that, my boy.
And for the next 5 years, Ernest would visit her family only on weekends. In 1972, Bertie moved her family into a house on West 69th Street and Dinker Avenue, which later became a very rough and gang-infested area on the west side of South Central Los Angeles. Kershaw had a normal upbringing at first. That's until the family moved on to 69th Street. His father faded from the scene around this time point. That also began the start of Crips and Bloods, which began forming in Los Angeles. The surrounding streets where the Scott family lived became dangerous. Due to Birdie's absences working several jobs to support her large family and the neglect that the family received from Ernest, Cody would often hang out on the streets of his new neighborhood. Around this time, he began hanging out with his neighbor, also known as Stanley Tookie Williams, who many call the leader of the West Side Crips.
Long little big Crip Tookie Williams, man. Gang was killed by the Terminator. Do your homework on the Terminator. Not even a U.S. citizen. Becoming the governor, bro. You know what I'm saying? Basically, unaliving Tookie because of Tookie's transgressions, right? But then come out with a documentary saying that he slept with the maid and had a baby. Oh! Do your homework, bro, on no sin is bigger than the next, bro. Do your homework on only God can judge us, bro. It's crazy as hell.
At just 12 in 1975, Cody would officially join a local Crip gang in his area, which would be later known as the A-Tray Gangsta Crips. At just 12, he was shooting enemies and earning a reputation. And by 13, he earned the name Monster. After a vicious beating he gave a man as he tried to rob him. As the years grew, so did Cody's reputation. Even though he wasn't grown, he had a reputation that many grown men never achieved. The rest of the Scott siblings didn't participate in the street life. Though Monster's two older brothers lived civilian lives and worked jobs, the youngest brother being Kershawn looked up to Cody. He admired who his big brother was. Monster had respect and fear among many, and Kershawn wanted to be just like him. So by the time of 1977, at the age of 12, Kershawn would also join the A-Tray Gangsta Crips, and he would take the name Little Monster, which was in honor of his older brother. After his transition into the gang life, Kershawn's childhood was essentially over. He stopped caring about school and any of his past interests. He was now devoted into being a gang member, and the streets only got deadlier by the year as he and his brother Monster continued on the path of destruction. He was no longer Kershawn, he was now Little Monster. He began going to jail for robberies and Grand Theft Auto only at the age of 13, and he spent 6 months in jail, being the longest bid at the time. The streets of Los Angeles became more fierce. Crips were at war with Bloods, but by the end of the 70s, Crip on Crip wars became worse. In 1979, the Rolling 60s were once allies of the A-Tray Gangsta Crips, but they became mortal enemies after the death of a Rolling 60 member, which was blamed on the A-Trays. And this new war caused massive death in South Central, and it would lead to several near-death calls for the Scott brothers. On December 31st of 1980, 17-year-old Monster was ambushed and shot 6 times by 3 adult members of the Rolling 60s after being set up by a group of girls who were dating one of his friends from his set. Monster survived the shooting, but he was hospitalized for several weeks.
One guy got a beard, a mustache, one guy got a beard, and one guy's clean shaven. But they're not dressed like gang members. I don't see no bulges where they might be armed. So the guy walks up to me and he says, "Aren't you Monster Cody?" So I said, "Yeah, I'm Monster Cody. I'm from A-Tray Gangsta. What's up?" And the guy reaches in his coat. He has a pea coat, but he can't get through the gun apparently because it's the button. And when he reaches in his coat, Lil Hunchy runs and leaves me. When I look towards Lil Hunchy to the left, and
Lil Hunchy ain't leave you, did he, fam? Come on, man. Lil Hunchy was an L man's for sure. Come on, man. I get Lil Hunchy like, man, I'm trying to live, folk.
Look back, the guy shoots me in the stomach. Shoots me in the stomach, point blank range, no closer than you and I are, and blows me against the wall. And the impact of the bullet, it doesn't really hurt me, but it surprises me. And the force of it blows me against the wall. And just out of survival, out of the instinct, I rush towards him, try to grab the gun, and he shoots me in the left hand. And my hand hits the wall like it's blown off, where I don't look at my hand. So now I know it's time to go. I turn around and try to run, he shoots me in the back. The bullet that hits me in the back knocks me down on my face, and I'm dazed. So now I'm getting up on my knees, and the guy kicks me in the stomach, kicks me over. So I have no alternative but to put my leg up, just try to shield a shot. And he shoots me 3 times in the left leg, and then they run off. Well, Lil Hunchy, he ran the entire block, and he comes back, and he asks me, "What happened?" "Well, damn fool, I'm shot."
Little Monster, who was fit.
You don't see what happened, gang? Look at me, boy. You like, come on, bro. Can you imagine? Like, you see your homie, you already done ran off on your homie. You know what I'm saying? Being a gang member, you would think that Lil Hunchy would have had a blower. You know what I'm saying? You would think Lil Hunchy or either Monster would have had a blower. I'm pretty sure they probably did have a blower. I don't know. But gang, you run off to the hood. You don't bring nobody back with you. You bring no kind of defense, bro. None. You know what I'm saying? You don't bring nobody, gang. And then you walk up to Monster Cody and say, "Gang, what happened?" And he died. They should have whooped Lil Munch ass. Oh! Not Lil Munchy, Lil Hunchy. They should have got to him.
The teen heard about the shooting from friends. He wanted to get revenge that same night, but older members of the A trades told him not to because police and rivals would expect it. He knew he had to get guns for his get back for his brother, which he told his father, and his father supplied him with guns, which included shotguns and handguns.
Now that's crazy.
Little Monster sought vengeance for his older brother's shooting on New Year's Day of 1981. Him and several teenage members of the A trades committed several shootings. The first shooting, he shot 2 teenagers who were standing in front of a yard of a house party that was being thrown in the Rolling 60s neighborhood. And later that evening, he shot another teenager to death in a drive-by as a young man was walking down the street.
Yeah.
Several other drive-bys at night on 3 different neighborhoods, all enemies to my own neighborhood, because I was not satisfied with just getting that one neighborhood.
Yay! Welcome to the mind of a maniac. Hey, I'm pretty sure somehow to my brother like that, bro. That might, yeah, it might drive me into welcome to the mind of a maniac.
I wanted to let all the neighborhoods know, affiliated with that one, that Retaliation is swift.
I had a double-barrel 12-gauge shotgun.
Oh, he older right there.
Everybody else had multiple shots. I had the 2. So it was clear that night that every time we pulled up on the enemy, I'd get the first shot. And the homie pulled up so close and so quietly that when I hung out the window with the shotgun and said, "Hey," when he turned around, the barrel was damn near touching him. I locked eyes with him.
Welcome to the mind of a maniac.
The last thing that I thought of is I'm gonna blow this guy's head off.
Oh my God.
And I pulled both triggers. I felt so confident about that kill. I didn't even bother to reload. We knocked down the enemy that night. January 1st, 1981. That's how I opened up the new year.
Hey, like, so did he get convicted of these murders? Because I don't think it's a statute of limitation on murders, bro. I don't want a Lil Monster in jail. Shout out Lil Monster, Monster Cody, A-Trade Gangsta. What's happening? You feel me? I don't want nobody locked up, bro. But, like, he must have went down for these M's, bro. Let me know in the chat.
At that moment, I became more of a killer. More of a monster.
That night, Kershawn and his friends gunned down 5 rival gang members. He was 15 years old.
I felt proud. I felt proud that he was able to rise above the emotionalism of his brother being shot and take care of business.
It would be easy to catch Little Monster and his crew. They didn't get rid of the stolen van they used in the shooting, and also an A-Trade Gangsta Crip hangout was raided, which was full of guns. And to make matters worse, police found a letter he wrote admitting to the shooting, which he was sending off to a friend in jail. Initially, with his rep, Monster was arrested. But with the proven facts that he couldn't have did the shooting with his injuries, Little Monster was later arrested, and he was sentenced to 5 years in youth authority for the murder as a juvenile.
What?
Little Monster was released by the time he was 21. When he got out, it was in the middle of the crack era. He went to jail before it existed. Now he entered the streets and it was a new ball game.
Hold on, gang. Hold on, Mark. He smacked 5 people and received a year for each one. 5! How? Because he was a minor? So that mean that, well, that was back then. It may not work now. So if you want somebody to go smack somebody or get some get back, you just send your little cousin over there, say, "Cool, go on over there, smack. You know what I'm saying? You gonna get but a few years. You be back on the street. I got auntie, for sure."
The streets were flooded with new gangs, more robberies, drug dealers, and addicts on every corner, and even guns advanced. He started to work a normal job trying to stay on the right path, But after his release, that would only last so long. He seen the money Croc was making from his friends. After giving it a try, he made a few $1,000s in one day. That minimum wage job he had, he never went back to. During this time period, Monster Cody was in prison for various crimes he committed throughout the 80s, which he was released in the late 80s. In 1989, Little Monster had his first child, but that didn't stop him from being in the streets. As the 90s began, he became a major face in the media for his gang, along with his big brother Monster. In 1992, the LA riots occurred, which was 5 days of chaos. In 91, 2 major events occurred that triggered the black community. The death of Latasha Harlan at the hands of a liquor store owner, and Rodney King's beating at the hands of the police. None of the individuals involved in both of those cases were charged, with them both being acquitted in 1992. This led to the LA riots. A total of 63 people died during the riots, including 9 shot by the police and 1 by the National Guard. Of those killed during the riots, 2 were Asian, 28 were black, 19 were Latino, and 14 were white. No police died during the riots. As many as 2,000 people were injured.
That's crazy as hell, though. So, like, how the hell y'all riot and do all this killing but don't kill not one cop? But y'all rioting because of the cops. That really don't make... I mean, I don't want nobody to lose their life, but that just... Like 2 plus 2 ain't equaling 4 right there. The cops beat Rodney King. The cops unalived that young woman. But no cops died. None. Every other race lose somebody, but no cops lose their life. And they the ones who basically caused the mayhem. Get in the chat. Make that make sense to me.
And estimated losses vary from 800 million to 1 billion. Over 3,000 fires were set, and over 1,000 buildings were burned. The A-Trade gangsters were at the center of the riots, and 71st and Normandy became the center of several crazy incidents. The A-Trades had incidents with the police, and they eventually made the police retreat. This led to them terrorizing people through the intersection of Florence and Normandy, and it led to severe beatings of numerous individuals. Little Monster was at the scene of the incidents, and he became a person everyone wanted to interview, which he did several interviews like on Larry King, Nightline, and several others.
Stop, or would it just been something else that would have triggered it?
I think had they been found guilty, not one, but all 4 on all counts.
Because all 4 of them was guilty.
Exactly. Had they been found guilty, none of this would have happened.
They wouldn't even be standing
I believe that.
None of this would have happened.
Somewhere else.
That's true. Tonight.
Yeah.
Well,
I do
maybe I'll
believe
be
that.
here next week or the week
Or
after
next year,
next.
But come on, man. Y'all, man, they wasn't gonna find them white men guilty, bro. They just wasn't gonna do that, gang.
It's no doubt because the situation in LA has been volatile for
But see, that
quite
would
some
have
time.
been the uplift off the people. Finally, they caught the guys with their hand in the cookie jar.
That's right.
So we figured they're going to prosecute and they got it.
And we can feel that justice is working for us in our community, which it hasn't. It never has.
Come on, bro. Shout out Little Monster, bro. But I was just saying, bro. Y'all know, man. We gotta call spades over here, bro. So what? Like, I don't. Come on, so justice can be served in our community, bro. Y'all done killed more black folk than the police, bro. Come on, gang. Gangbangers done killed way more black people than the police, man. Gang members have hurt our communities way more than the cops, bro. I'm just saying, gang. I'm just saying, bro. Like, I just feel like when you a stepper, when you a member, bro, you only for your community if a white man is going against it. Oh! That has to stop, bro. That has to stop. For sure.
In the wake of the riots, he was already in the media, but he also became known for being in the gang troops, which further elevated his profile as a leader and a community spokesman.
If we can put the same amount of pride into the community and instill it in the youngsters, then we do something positive and constructive for the community, as opposed to just tearing stuff up. That's our role. That's our mission.
I apologize. He had changed his ways, bro. He had did his gang banging. He had did his thing in the streets, and he wanted to change his ways to show the youth a better way. Nah, the only question I got was Lil Monster, or is Lil Monster willing to sit down with a rolling 60s neighborhood Crip? Is he willing to do what Spodey Face and Hefe did? I'm just asking.
I've done so much wrong in my community that helping somebody, to me, is like giving something back.
In 1992, Tupac's manager saw him on Nightline, and he invited him to Atlanta to work with the Malcolm X Center. which led to a stint on Tupac's payroll being head of security when a rapper went on tour. While his brother was in prison, Monster Cody put out the best-selling book in 93, being called Monster, the autobiography of a LA gang member. This also led to several appearances on TV and a documentary based on their lives in 93.
What's up, man? How you doing?
All right, what's up?
All right.
A lot of people ask us, why are we so close? We're brothers by chance and not by choice. And that doesn't necessarily mean that I have to love him. But we're best friends because we want to be, and that's our choice.
As the 90s resumed, both brothers remained in the media. If Monster Cody wasn't in jail, he was around. So was Little Monster. But by the end of the 90s, he tried to get away from the LA life and move with his wife and several kids. But that was a struggle in his own. Him and his wife had several issues that led to run-ins with the law in the 2000s. In July 2002, the couple separated, and his wife obtained a restraining order. He contemplated suicide. He was treated for severe depression and PTSD, which was related to the breakup and also his childhood. And at the same time, his mom was going through kidney failure. In August of 2002, Little Monster went to the couple's home, where he found his wife with an ex-boyfriend and another man. Accounts of that evening vary, but it set off a negative chain of events. According to the Ridgecrest police chief who read from a report filed by his wife that morning, Little Monster allegedly climbed through the window carrying a gun and grabbed the phone from her hand as she tried to call for help. He demanded that the two men in the house get on the ground, and as she ran, police arrived. Little Monster left, and they later took statements from the two men that matched his wife's statement. A few days later, Little Monster was arrested, but his wife said she lied. This put him on the Ridgecrest police.
I mean, shout out to her for that, but God, I mean, you knew what you was dealing with. You knew gang was crazy. You knew gang was crazy, and you also knew gang loved you. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't be understanding that about like women. Like, you know gang crazy, and you also know that gang love you. So something got to give. You feel what I'm saying? He crazy and he love you, which means that he's crazy in love with you. Which means that if you kicking it with your ex and one of his homies, and you know your soon-to-be ex-husband is Monster Cody, little brother, little monster, you should have let them know. You know what I mean? You should have let them know, gang.
His radar, and they learned who he was. This led to several run-ins, which he was always being harassed. It got so bad that they later charged him and his wife with welfare fraud, which they both escaped with a few months in jail, but that was later dropped. He continued being in the media, like on several stories in LA Weekly, documentaries like Crips and Bloods Made in America, as well as Outlaw Empires, which he discussed gang history and organized street culture, and also shows like Gangland. Later in life, Little Monster transitioned into film and television production, working mostly behind the scenes in roles as production assistant. His credits include The Nun, Big Little Lies, Gang Related, The Last Man on Earth, Mayans MC, and Street Level. In 2021, Monster Cody died, leaving a legacy as one of the most respected and recognizable Crips in history.
Long live Monster Cody, man.
In recent years, Little Monster has talked about doing a book, which has been talked about for several years. He has been rarely seen playing a background role and living behind the scenes in life. He is now 61, and his story is one of a lot of controversy and pain, which he endured throughout his life. He's lucky to have made it out. This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, check him.
Man, so my dog Warren Kelly, man, that was a good one, bro. And Lil Monster and Monster Cody, they kind of beat the streets because they didn't get killed by their ops. They didn't get killed by nobody, bro. I don't know if the persona, you know what I'm saying, made people be like, we ain't trying to go that way or what, but shout out to him, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's a beautiful thing, bro, to see those guys like change their lives, bro. But like a lot of times, bro, like you gotta think, like, what if they never even went into that lifestyle? Like, what if they would have channeled that kind of energy into something positive? Would they have the name they got, or would they be nobodies? I don't know, man. That's deep, bro. You feel me? But long live Monster Cody, man. Shout out Lil Monster. That was a good one. Yeah. For sure. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it, though, folk, in the comment section down below, man. Don't forget to like, hype. Don't forget to subscribe. After subscribe, make sure you ring that bell. After y'all ring it up, though, make sure you hit all, because I don't want y'all to be missing none of these banger folk. You smell me? Y'all know it's a mob life or no life. Mob will no way, man. Y'all know I'm getting it out the mud every single day. Hopefully, y'all getting it out the mud with me. You feel me, man? I go by done. I love y'all. God love you more than me, so make sure you stay tapped in with him. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow, man, on that next video. Let's get it. You know we got the streets, nigga. We got the trap too. I say my trap doing numbers, I just bust another jewel. Got a player around the corner, hey. I say my trap doing numbers like that 05 summer. Got a quarter pound